Welcome to this first live community yoga class. Welcome. We have a few people here today. Welcome to those that are live and also those enjoying this recording. For this class, as I've already mentioned, have a blanket stretched out on your mat, and you can tuck either end underneath the mat just so it doesn't kind of slip away from you very much. Okay. So have that ready, and then we'll lie on our backs if that's okay for you. You could always keep the knees bent and the feet planted if that's helpful for your back. Or stretch out long, or even having pillows underneath the back thighs. And just notice your breath, just as it is. Without trying to change it, that can be challenging. And as you breathe here, begin to roll the wrists and the ankles, or maybe just the wrists if the feet are planted. Looking at any pops or cracks. Sense any fluidity there. And reverse. Tune in again to the breath. Just notice if it's changed. And from here, if able, reach those arms overhead. Long body stretch. Or the feet could be planted here. Maybe the upper body's just stretching. This is where you can bring on a yawn. Let it become real. Relax the parasympathetic nervous system. You might stretch the right side of the body long or just the arm. And then the left side, and alternates. First waking up in the morning. Widen the breath now. Start to regulate it and bring it into the sides of the ribs. We'll pause and we'll sweep those arms and legs, or maybe just the arms, over to the left-hand side. You can arc the body here if able. In this banana shape. Really breathe into the right ribs. Even if you're not able to arc over to the side, you could still focus on the right ribs, opening and closing. The breath itself can open the intercostals, even without the arc of the body. One more inhale. And exhale, bring everything back to center and switch sides. Nice and simple here over to the right. Adjust as you need here to feel comfortable in through the back. And crescent moon shape opposite way. See if you can heavy the pelvis and the backs of the shoulder blades. And sense into the left ribs, wherever you are, breathe into them. A full inhale. Now an active exhale. Just a few like that. And your breath pattern will be different than mine. Once you finish your last exhale, return to center. Slide those feet in if the legs were long. And if you can, hug the knees in toward the chest. Here you can take weight off the tailbone by really curling the knees close into the body. You might stay still, especially if you have issues with the tailbone, or you might rock side to side to massage the lower back. A few circles one direction with the knees. Could be close together, a little farther apart if you have back issues. Might want to make space there. And reverse, or you might still be still, maybe lengthening and rebending the legs, like so. Then pause in a wide happy baby. So those knees come to the outsides of the ribs. Again, really allow the lower back to round and lift. You could rock here with the hands behind the thighs. It's early in the practice. We're going for gentle here today. From here, plant those feet back down. So some gentle somatic core here. And really the point of this is to get in touch with the spine and how it moves. If you have to be off the tailbone, you could come into tabletop instead and do some cat tilts or some cat cow on your in your tabletop position, or take the left hand behind that same thigh and take the right hand behind the head. Inhale here, and you can arch the spine a little if you want. Just be careful. You can always stay neutral. And as you exhale, curl and bring that left knee in toward the chest. Lower everything down. Inhale at the bottom. And exhale to curl, and you're assisting yourself here. You're allowing the hand to help the leg. Inhale at the bottom, whenever that is. And exhale fully to curl and feel the rounding of the spine. The head is heavy in the hand, but the hand can support here a bit. A little different than we normally do. Inhale at the bottom. Exhale to curl. Might do pursed lips like me, more like Pilates. Lower. Exhale, curl. One more like this, or you might be in cat tilts on your in tabletop. Now lower it down, and this time cross the body. That left or that right elbow comes toward the left side, because you still assist yourself here. This is about wringing out the center of all the air, rounding the spine. The core might be active a little, but it's gentle, it's somatic. One more. And lower the head down, release your other hand from the leg, and just pause here and feel. One more inhale. Notice that the breath feels different. Exhale through the mouth. And we'll switch to the other side. That left hand will come behind the hat, and that right hand will clasp behind the other thigh. Arc the spine as you inhale, and exhale to curl. Inhale to lower, and exhale to curl. Now, if you're in tabletop right now, you could play with isolating areas of the spine. Everyone else continue this. Hopefully you can hear my breaths. You kind of know the pattern. But if you're in tabletop, you might isolate the lower spine, start to just round through just the lower spine, like keeping the upper spine still. Be like a little draw in of the belly button, and then you release. So you can keep doing just the lower spine rounding. Oops, I already started to cross a little there. One more like this. And this time let's cross left elbow to right thigh. Your pace might be much slower than mine, so you want that release at the bottom. Not trying to work really hard here. Let's do two more. Round, feel the curve of the spine. And the last one. And then lower the head back down if it was lifted. If you're in tabletop, you could return to your spine here. And just sense your body here on the mat. Inhale. And as you exhale, flex through the right toes and glide that right leg long along that blanket. Inhale to pause. And exhale to let the heel glide in. We'll stay on the same side. Glide the leg long. You can inhale this time. Exhale to draw it in. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to draw. Continue this action with a neutral pelvis. Pelvis is still. Upper body is heavy. And we're looking for hip control here. That can support our backs. One more time, lengthen that leg. And slide it back in and then clasp the hands around the back of that right thigh, pulling it in, and lengthen the right foot to the sky. And then rebend and hug that knee in toward the chest for digestion. Lengthen and rebend. If you like this to pump on the belly. Really use that breath to release tension and through the trunk and through the spine. We have to neglect the breath and its power to release. One more inhale, lengthen and stay, and point and flex that foot. You could just stay with this or a little neuroflossing. This will slightly move kind of the nerves up and down in your spinal column. So as you flex the foot, you could look overhead. Inhale. Exhale to point the toes and bring your head to neutral or slightly tucked. Might have to get a ponytail out of the way. Flex the foot. Inhale to look overhead. Exhale to point the toes, slightly tuck the chin. Two more like this. One more look overhead. Inhale. Exhale back to center with the pointed toes. Now keep the toes pointed, but look overhead. Then flex the toes as the head comes back to neutral. Hopefully it's opposite now. Point the toes, look overhead. Hopefully I didn't mess that up. And flex the foot, bring the head back to neutral. Just a few more like this. See if it's different. One variation might be easier than the other. One more time, look overhead. And bring the head back to neutral. A little bit of core work here. You can point or foint the toes. So that means if you foint, you're pointing the ankle, you're flexing the toes. That can be fun for some people, or just pointing. Inhale here. And exhale to upper ab curl, slide the hands up the legs so they can support you to come nice and high to keep the tension out of the front of the neck. Lower back down. Exhale, curl. Inhale, lower. Exhale, curl. Inhale, lower. If you don't like the curl, you could just be intensifying the hamstring stretch. 2 more. And last one, curl. Flex the toes, bring the head down. Maybe you intensify this, maybe you don't. And for those with lower back that have mentioned that today, hamstrings are often tight. So see if you can open these up. Just breathe into the sides of the ribs. And let's hug that knee back and toward the chest. And one time, just press that foot out on a diagonal toward the wall in front of you. Bring it in. Press it out. Bring it in. Press it out. Hug it in. Good. Plant both feet. If you have issues with your tailbone, you probably won't want to curl up. You can do a solid lift and union of the pelvis up, or tuck the tailbone and roll up through the spine. And lower the ribs first and start to peel or roll through the spine. Those of you with tailbone issues, you might not want to even set the tailbone down and just come right back up again. And lower, or pelvis as a unit. It's actually more work rather than focusing on suppleness of the spine. And wherever you are, just do 1 or 2 more. And see if you can articulate through the spine if you're able to do that, depending on how the back is feeling. But this is for suppleness of the spine as well. And then lower the hips back down, and let's slide the left leg long and pull it in with the exhale. Inhale to lengthen. Exhale to pull in. Just a few like this. It's a very mobility focused, mindful based movement class today. And notice if you have the desire to work harder. See if you can be gentle with yourself instead. Even gentle with how deep you go into the stretch. Trying to be with maybe even less sensation, tuning into subtleties, especially for someone who's very flexible. I know some of you are. Let's do 2 more. Last time, reach. Use control the hip. And the exhale to draw in, and then hug that knee in if you're able. We'll extend the leg to the sky. Inhale. Exhale to squeeze it in. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, squeeze. Notice if there's any bubbles or gurgles in your gut today. Might get things flowing and going. 2 more. Last one, lengthen. And hug. Just pause for a moment here. Inhale, just turned off a fan so that I wouldn't interfere with the mic. And exhale. Let's lengthen that leg, that left leg, up toward the sky. And point and flex the toes. Again, you could stay just with the toes here. Or next time you point, let's look overhead. And next time you flex, bring the head back to neutral or tuck the chin slightly. Again, point the toes, look overhead. And exhale, flex the foot and tuck chin. A few more. Last one, point and look overhead. Bring the head back to neutral or slightly tucked. And then flex the toes as you look overhead. And point the toes and bring the head back to center. Again, flex, look overhead. And point, head back to neutral. If one of these isn't available, you could always stay with one or the other. You can flip-flop it. Two more. Last one, flex foot, and bring the head back to neutral here. Point or point the toes. Figure out what you'd like to do with that foot. Inhale. And exhale to slide the hands up, curl through the abdominals, and lower it down. Exhale to curl. Inhale to lower. Exhale to curl, scoop through the belly. Inhale to lower. Again, more about somatics. Use the hand as much as you'd like. Two more. Really come up high. That helps with the neck tension. Last one. Come up. And slide the hands down. Let's flex again through the ankle and pull the long leg in toward us a little bit. Nice. And plant those feet. More with the leg slides today. I'll start with my left. Just want to start with your left just so you can see. Open up the knee and see if you can slide that leg long. Kneecap turns to the sky as you draw the leg in. Open up the legs, great for hip mobility. Lengthen it out, kneecap will turn to sky. Pull the knee in. So open, lengthen, pull it in. I like to inhale to open, exhale to lengthen, and inhale to pull it in with this particular movement. One more. Now pause with the kneecap to the sky. See if you can lengthen the leg out as we did with the heel glides earlier. Externally rotate the thigh, pull it in. This will be harder, and kneecap to the sky. Lengthen the leg, externally rotate the thigh, pull it in, bring kneecaps toward each other. If you like this. And this again plays with the hip. There's often tension there. That's why we get lower back pain. Last one. We'll eventually get to stretches and everything. And pause. Other side, that right knee will open. Lengthen the leg out. Kneecap turns to sky. Pull the leg in. Again, open, slide, kneecap to sky, pull it in. So if you like this. Play with the breath pattern. I like to flip-flop it sometimes too. No right or wrong, because we're not working very hard here. It's not like we're doing muscular contraction of any significance. How does it feel? One more. And reverse, lengthen leg. Externally rotate. Draw the thigh in, kneecap to sky. Lengthen leg. Externally rotate. Draw it out to the side and in. See if, unlike me, you can keep that other leg still. Last one. Good. Hug the knees into the chest if able. and plant the feet. Allow the legs to drape to away from me. Allow the legs to drape away from me. That'll help later. Open up the arms, extend the hands directly from the shoulder. Just stay in the supine rotation. You might even want to cross the bottom ankle over the top thigh if that helps you. We can also cactus the arms and keep that mobility focus. Reach overhead, inhale, and exhale to bring the elbows in toward the ribs. So this mindful, repetitive movement to soothe your nervous systems. Inhale to reach. Exhale to draw in with the arms. They might glide along the earth. Take your gaze where you wish, perhaps directly to the sky. One more inhale, reach. Exhale, draw those arms in and then extend them. Unhook that bottom thigh if it was over, and allow the legs to come back to center to drape toward me. Cross that bottom ankle over the top one. Arms are nice and open here for a moment. Sometimes it's nice to exhale through the mouth. Occasionally inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, even stick with the tongue. And then cactus those arms, or 90-degree angle with the arms as we inhale and reach. And exhale to draw in. Inhale to reach. And exhale to draw in. If you like this. Notice what happens in the pauses. In between each breath and between each word you might hear. The still points. One more reach. And exhale to draw the arms in and extend them out. Unhook bottom thigh if it was hooked, and adjust so that you roll onto that side toward me. Those arms can stack if they're able. This is where for some people, it depends on the day, right? You might roll up your mat to make like a little cradle for the head, or you could just leave it down. You might get a nice stretch through the side of the neck. So options here, you might just cup the shoulder and make some circles. You could also do this seated with both arms, or make a big circle with the arm long. Or take that top hand and reach overhead, make a big circle as if your arm was one of the hands of a clock. So we inhale to bring it overhead. Hand will naturally open toward the sky as you bring it in behind. Hand drapes over the thigh, outer thigh, and comes back to start. So you can make these big circles here, or cup the shoulder, or again, just to model it, maybe some big circles. So play around with this. You might even slow it down and pause along the way instead of staying in motion. You find a stuck point. Maybe you stay there for a little bit. You know, people mention this one feels good, so we'll stay a little bit. Last one in this direction. Whenever you are ready, depending on your pace, drape that hand over the outer thigh, open up overhead, and bring the hand back to start. Drape the hand over the hip, back behind you, reach as you inhale, and exhale to bring it round. So play with this. Lingering. Notice when the mind gets involved, you do deserve to rest. Just be. Sense this motion. So round one more. And then we'll pause with the hands stacked if you're in this position. I'll give you an option if you happen to need it seated. Reach the top fingertips a little bit further out and slide that top hand along the bottom arm as if you're drawing back a bow and arrow. Allow the hand to come across the chest and then open up that top arm. Inhale, reach long fingertip to fingertip. When you're ready to exhale, you can curl at the wrist, at the elbow, slide that top hand along your own body. No one's looking here, along the arm, and then reach. Perhaps you inhale and exhale to draw. Inhale, maybe to pause, and exhale to curl that arm back in and slide it over the chest. Play with the breath. If this isn't for you and you're seated, could be opening the arm and closing the arm. Open and close. So feel broadness across the chest. Don't stay here as long. So finish about one more draw. And then pause. Here, this will feel a little awkward, but it's good for our neurology. You might take that bottom hand and cradle the head if you're not already there. If you're in seated, you'll be able to do side bends, okay? Otherwise, if you're on your side, we'll start just with the leg. Knees stay together. Lift just the top shin and lower. You're thinking, what's the point of this? It's bring side awareness to your body. Lift and lower. Let's do two more. Otherwise, you're in seated side bends. One more. And release that. Let's take that top hand and wrap it around the head. Actually, I might choose long arm today. I'll choose long arm. Do what you will with this bottom arm. Inhale here. And as you exhale, lift through the side of the waist and lower. Arc at the bottom, like let there be a space between your waist and the floor or a sense of space, and lift and lower, and you arc. So sense of space on the bottom half and arc. Support the head. Let it be heavy in that hand. Now you can stay with this or lower. And as you exhale, lift that shin and lower back down. Lift and lower, or enjoy your side bends and seated with a nice long spine and then arc it over. See if you can tune in to how the waist moves to this lateral flexion of the spine. Let's do one more. And then lower the shin. Maybe you lengthen out arms and legs if you're on your side. I like to take that top foot and place it behind me and really reach and then slide it back and forth to see if I can find the psoas. It kind of runs along here. I'm just going to point to where it is. Might feel stretched to the belly. You can pause somewhere here. Again, that sense of lift through the lower waist might add to the sense of stretch for some of us. Some of us might feel nothing as well, depending how flexible you are. And then from here, let's bring those legs back in. Top hand can press us up, kind of into mermaid. Hook that what was the top hand around the shins. And you could side bend here. And allow that what was bottom hand to plant once more. Lengthen the legs out to the side. Could also have the bottom knee bent. Turn that top hand out as if holding a tray. And inhale, you might just lift the arm overhead, and exhale, bring it back. And this sense of lift through the bottom shoulders, the sense of hollowing out through the armpit, you might just stay here. Or you might lift the hips. I'm going to bend the bottom knee and lower. Lift. So working the opposite side and lower. Lift. And lower. So again, the side body awareness, just a little bit of work here. Lift and lower as you circle that top arm in front of you. Again, draw the legs in and come into tabletop. And you can still face the long edge of your mat. If you set up the way I did, I'll turn to the side just so you can see. Round and arc. Round and arc. Now let's round and stay rounded. And notice when you inhale any congestion. It will feel different. Breathe into the back of the ribs. On your next inhale, arc. Pause here, stay. Then come back to neutral. I want the spine to stay still. The arms just micro bend if you're a hyperextender, as I know some of you are. Let the chest sink. Arms stay relatively long. This is the shoulder blades moving here. Exhale to press the earth away. Inhale. This is all scapular mobility. Exhale, press away. Just a few like this. Even though we're not really in a working class today, this is to support a lot of the postures that we do in yoga, a lot of the work, a lot of that planking. One more. And pause. You're still facing the long edge of your mat. So you can take one leg out to the side and open up toward that leg, rotate, and exhale to thread that hand underneath the opposite armpit. Inhale to open. Exhale to thread under the armpit of that supporting arm. 2 more. Last one, open. Plant that hand, slide the hands in. If you're able to stand on that shin, do so. Lengthen those arms up to the sky, circle them in behind the body. Maybe they just reach, maybe they reach and touch the sacrum as you open up through the heart. Inhale and exhale, back to center. Draw that extended leg in and lie on your opposite side. You might extend both the arms out. Could also take that seated variation if you want to make the big arm circles that way, or reach overhead, again, tracing that clock face. Drape the hand over the hip and back to start again. Feel here, pause anywhere along the way as we did last time. So this is what I would call a gentle yoga mobility class. We can do more still gentle classes as well. So let me know what you like, what you're looking for in the comments. So many ways to practice and find some space in the body, and perhaps then the mind. Around one more circle in this direction. And once the hand comes back to start, drape the hand over the shin, allow the palm to turn toward the sky and open up overhead and circle back around. Again. Or there's those big arm circles in seated. How long can you make that arm? How long can you make the breath? Finish your last one. And pause once you get there. And then extend the top hand, reach it out and slide it along the bottom arm just as before. Open up across the heart as that top arm lengthens out. Fingertip to fingertips reach. And then we curl the wrist, the elbow, hand slides across the chest and back to start reach. Pull and slide, open. And begin to close back up. Glide the hand across the chest, reach, pull, slide, open. Finish another round, depending on your pace always. Doesn't have to match me exactly. In fact, I don't want it to. And once you've come home, do what you will with this bottom arm. I can't really decide what I like best here. And lift top shin. Knees stay together and lower. Lift and lower. And see if you can already get that sense that the lower waist has a little bit of lightness to it. You might notice that one side's different than the other. This side I'm noticing is more congested. Try to keep the hips stacked. Oh, that's shrinking my range of motion. Yeah, I can see the difference. So feel into your own body. One more. And pause with the legs. Take that top hand, wrap it around the opposite side of the head. Inhale, maybe arch a little through the waist. Exhale to side curl. Inhale to lower, arch. Exhale to side curl. You might be in seated side bends right now. That head is heavy in the hands. Let the waist move, the spine move. One more like this. Side body awareness. Lower down, inhale, arch. Exhale to do the same curl with the shin lift. And lower, arch waist. Curl. Lower. You might use pursed lips like I am. Focus on that exhale. Release on the inhale. Last one. Lower down, lengthen out, reach the top foot behind you. Shift it forward and back. That feels good. See if you can find any sensation at all through the psoas. This line of the body. Inhale. And then exhale to press up through the top hand. Stack those legs. Opposite arm reaches. And you can curl over toward those shins. And from here, that bottom, what was bottom, forearm comes back down. Bend the bottom knee if you'd like, lengthen top leg, hand again out like a tray. Let's just do the arm. So the practice of that would be like, or lift the hips as the arm reaches, lower the hips down as the arm comes back to the thigh. Again, it's hollowing out through the armpit. More time, lift. And lower through the hips. Draw those legs back in. Come into tabletop once more. This time we'll skip the cat-cow and we'll extend that, what was the bottom leg likely is the one you're using, out to the side. Rotate toward that leg and open up the arm and thread hand underneath opposite armpit. So if you like this. We'll do one more. Last one, open. And then take that hand, plant it, slide it in, both hands glide in toward the body, sweep up high, circle them behind, and open up across the heart. Inhale. Exhale, stick at the tongue. The head returns to center. And draw that leg in. From here, we'll come to sit. If you're able to, you could sit on a block, you could sit with your back against the wall for some self-massage. I think I'll come closer to the camera so you can see. If you'd like to go wash your hands, you can go wash your hands, and I'll lead us through a few neck stretches while that's happening in case you feel that that would be best for you. So a few circles with the shoulder for the rest of us. And reverse. Take your head, lower it to the left. And you might, with eyes open or closed, take your eyes over in the opposite direction of the head. This is a nervous system reset. See if you notice any changes in through the level of tension and through the gut or chest, neck, face. And drop the head, bring it through center. Opposite side. Eyes go to the left, opposite to the head. If that doesn't feel good, you don't have to do the eye movement. You can keep the head still. It might want to move. Then bring it back to center and lift up. And hopefully we're all back again for our self-massage. So if you have glasses like I do, you might choose to take them off. And we'll take the fingertips to the temples. If you have long nails, you might be on the finger pads instead of on kind of the tips of the fingers, and just make little circles here. You can soften the jaw. And reverse your circles. And pause and move up and down with the fingers, kind of plucking at the skin a little bit. And side to side. And pause that. Instead of moving the fingertips side to side, move the head side to side. Pull on the tissues a little bit. See if that feels different than when you just moved your fingers side to side. This can also be done with yoga tune-up balls, but we're not doing that today. And then up and down with the head, the fingers just stay still. And then pause that action. Let's take the palms of the hands to the sides of the head, kind of, so your eye line is here. It's kind of above that point. And you can pull up on the skin a little bit. Give yourself a little facelift here. And then if you wish, if you don't have any jaw issues, this feels okay to you, you don't have like a clicking jaw, TMJ, you could open to any degree. It could be small, could be big. As you draw up on the skin, yeah. This will look a little funny, but drop on the skin open, jaw, and close. And if this doesn't feel good, do any massage of your choice just to get you started. One more like this. And you could just stay with that, massage your head or pull down on the skin and open and close. Do what feels right. I like this one. One more. And then take those hands and you can cup kind of either side of each ear, kind of this temporalis or temporal muscle here. You can cup it, it's like a shell shape, and you can massage with your fingertips in little circles. You have trigeminal neuralgia, be careful. You might not do this at all. Just massaging the head. And then you can just release the hair if you have it tied. You can just continue this massage, make everything really messy here. And continue up through the scalp. And try to move the tissues, not just the hair. Move the skin. You'll see my face tissues kind of move around, right? Move the skin. Whatever you want here, fingertips, the whole of the hand, kind of making little circles, the back of the head. And then just rake the hands through the hair. This is more on the surface. If you have a sensitive scalp, you could always stay with what we were doing. Find something that works for you. It's like you're drawing your hair up almost into a ponytail. And then with this, we can then take the hair and actually do some hair pulling. You might think, no, I don't want to do that. And that's okay. You don't have to. But you could take your hair in a ponytail and you can kind of pull up a little bit on all the tissues, all the fascia. And you could pull down and out. I just pull on the hair, whatever you want here. And then we'll move to the ears. So you can just pinch the ears a little bit, have the index finger on the inside there and the thumb on the outside. You can make little circles. And just move the ears around. Mhm. And then we'll take our index fingers, curl them, take them to the chin and draw them up and around the ears and down the side of the neck. So up and around and down the sides of the neck. One more. And then come to, let's say, the left side of the neck and massage it. SEM muscle, there's a lot of muscles in this area, but SEM, get in there a little bit. Massage that shoulder, and give it a few taps, and just slide up and down the arm. Again, we'll return to the swipes under the chin and over and around the ears. One more. And then go to that right side of the neck, opposite side of the neck. A few little kneads of the shoulder here, the traps, or elevator scapula rather. All this stuff in here. And slide and up and down the arm. Sort of lymphatic flow. Massage the back of the neck. And then we'll come down onto our bellies. Or not on our bellies, onto our backs. You could come onto your belly instead if you wanted. Whatever's more comfortable. Savasana is where we're headed. Got a little too into that. If you do choose your back, if you're comfortable and it's not triggering, you could make circles on your belly to massage it. If you're on your belly, you could breathe into that space or just notice how it lifts, rises and falls. So find your Savasana. And we'll do a little more massage here, if you wish, by taking the tongue and swirling it around the fronts and backs of the top teeth. So take the tongue around the mouth and trace the teeth. Notice the effect on the breath. The effect on tension in the body. Change directions with the tongue. Massaging the inside of the mouth, actually using those muscles. Bottom teeth, circle. Reverse. And let the tongue go. And just breathe here. Notice the lightness of the breath as you breathe. Feel light as a feather. And now, heavy the body. Let it sink into the earth. Heavy, heavy, heavy. And balance this with the lightness of the breath. At the same time as the earth rises up to meet you and supports you, free yet grounded. You are here. Widen the breath into the sides of the ribs. Exhale, sigh as an option. Again. One more time. You make some sound. As you rebend the knees, or if you're on your belly, maybe you press back into a child's pose slowly. You're on your back, maybe you hug the knees in. In either place, child's or on your back, breathe into the lower back. Make space there. If you're in child's, you might start to roll up through the spine. If you're on your back, you might roll over onto one side and continue to breathe into that space. When you're ready, press your way up to seated. And lower that head side to side. I'll be all gather in our own time. Might drop the chin and center. Look up as the arms circle up. Palms together as you bring the hands to the forehead. May our thoughts be kind. Draw those hands to the throat and the mouth. May our words come from our hearts. And the hands land at heart center. Breathe into the thumbs. May we be in touch with this space to allow caring compassion to flow through us and our actions and our words. Thank you for practicing with me today. Sat Nam.